Welcome back to the Chill Zone podcast. I'm your host Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin', and I'm here with my co-host Roger.
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
And this week, again, we unfortunately don't have a guest, but if anybody's willing or looking to come on to the show, contact me or Roger for short. But Roger, how you been, man?
Been doing pretty good actually. I've been putting down a schedule of personal enrichment really to try and I enjoy reading. I enjoy reading manga, watching anime, reading novels and light novels and stuff. So I just decided, put it in my calendar as something I have to do every day. And as soon as I get it marked done, then I enjoy doing it. It's just forcing myself to find time is a big part. So got through. I'm almost done with a full novel, and then I'm about to start, Barack Obama's new book, which seems interesting.
Oh yeah, I want to check that out for sure too. But yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat too. I'm trying to get my schedules organized and put together, especially with doing the podcast and the talk show.
Yeah.
And then having to do the editing and the uploading and stuff. So, and then on top of it, I'm trying to play games, and then we also got to try and play Cuphead and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And then still balance work and social life too. So I definitely know what you mean.
Yeah.
And then I have all these books I want to read. I just picked up the 2 newest Star Wars books because they're during the High Republic, which takes place 200 years before even the Phantom Menace. So this is brand new. Don't know nothing about it. So it'd be really interesting. But I'm in the process of reading the book about Queen Amidala, which is the mother of Luke and Leia, obviously. So I'm trying to finish that book real quick, so then I can start these new books, because the new book came out in January. The next one just came out a couple of days ago, and I'm just I'm buying them and just sitting them on the shelf. So yeah, I definitely know what you mean though. But yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, I'm personally doing well too. I'm just trying to get organized.
Yeah. No, I feel you, dude.
It's definitely been hectic. It's an adjustment, something new for us, honestly.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to balance it. But other than that, man, let's get into our gaming topics this week. We're going to start with gaming news.
Okay.
First up, we got is CD Projekt Red.
So that's cyber attack. All right. So I only saw the headlines so far about this, but supposedly they've already leaked The Witcher 3's code to everyone, and they're threatening to release Cyberpunk code. I don't know what their plan is.
It's even better. You want to know what really has happened already?
What?
All the coding has been sold on the dark web for, I think, $7 million. Yeah, and these hackers apparently tried to sell it back to CDPR for $1 million, and I guess they didn't buy it. Obviously, I don't know where this goes. How does this really affect their games and stuff?
Yeah, I guess the worst thing that's going to happen is people are going to now be able to look into what CD Projekt Red had, what they didn't deliver upon, what there's a lot of secrets that developers can hide in a game. Okay. Just making the source code, you don't get to see that. But when you have the source code, that's when you can start doing speed running tricks. You can start reverse engineering things. You can start pirating it. You can start modding it beyond belief. So there's a lot of tools there for people.
And I'm going to look at it in a different way, because as me and you both know, and anybody who's been following us, they're in the middle of a lawsuit already.
Yeah.
And now that people actually have access to this, they can really look at they can use this hey, this is what we were shown, and then this is the game we got. Why didn't we get this? And I mean, I feel like people can use that as evidence, but then again, they're using.
Well, no, it'd probably be admissible in court. I'm no lawyer, and don't take me for legal advice, but it is stolen property, and it's not publicly available, data. It wasn't confiscated by the court of law. So for it to end up in somebody's hands, it may not be usable in court, but it's still pretty rough. The fallout that comes from it is going to be a big issue.
One of the funniest things I read though so far on, I think it was Twitter, is someone was man, this really sounds like a mission from Cyberpunk. Cracking up. I was like, it really does. It's like, oh damn, it's been stolen. Can you steal it back from me?
Can you steal it back?
Or
But
not
like,
get it back?
and the thing is, it's not like they just stole it and left with it. CD Projekt Red still has the entire source code. It's just somebody else has a copy that's probably been replicated 100 times now. So
Yeah,
CD Projekt Red's going to be in hot water now because everyone has their game, and so it could lead
yeah,
to a lot of issues.
yeah. Like, like their civil lawsuits weren't enough already.
Yeah,
Now they have to deal with this. Like, I can only imagine what it feels like to be a head executive with that company right now. I know that's
yeah.
like driving them insane. Like, I don't even look at the stocks because I've been big in the stocks, but I haven't checked theirs. But my guess, it probably took another hit,
Oh yeah,
another one.
probably a huge hit really for their stock price.
It's probably worth pennies at this point. Oh man, that's a hell of a story. I'm just eager to see what how
Yeah,
CD Projekt Red turns out in the next couple of years and see what it
yeah. Honestly,
all
I
the
think
outcomes.
I think Cyberpunk is kind of that knife. It's already being twisted into them pretty deep because they've fucked up so badly already.
Right. Yeah.
So
Well, now it's a wait and see
yeah,
approach.
yeah,
I wish them the best of luck because I mean they're great developers. Like they've always done the right thing
yeah.
and stuff like that. But
And
you just want to
honestly,
see the best
their
one.
game is a quality game. I just think the people who really got short-ended, as we've said before, are the people with
Mhm.
the current gen consoles, and that's a majority of the market. So I do feel bad for those people, but at the same time, like CD Projekt Red had lofty goals, and
Right.
it just kind of fell through.
Yeah, it just sounds like it was poor planning along the process. I
Yeah,
mean,
and
that's all that
and we
comes
had a
down
year
to.
of pandemic as well, so I don't blame them as
Right.
well.
Yeah, I can't blame it all on them, except that the game was in production for like 6 years.
Yeah, but you
In
know
that
how
one
much
year of
did they?
COVID, when they should have just been polishing at this point,
Yeah.
which was just my
Well, they had to
speculation.
rewrite. You have to rewrite a whole engine for a game like that too. So
Right
not to
for what
mention
next gen?
that's yeah. Well, not only that. What I was referring to is the fact that yeah, it was in development for 6 years, but how many of those years were them developing the engine to actually script the game into?
Right.
So
Well, because I don't know if they used the same engine as
I don't think they
The
did.
Witcher 3.
I don't believe they did.
Hmm. Yeah, it's something we'll have to look into next time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely crazy.
So
But any last thoughts on that one?
no, not really. So you saw about Crash 4 then this week, I assume.
Yeah, that's great. I mean,
Yeah.
I haven't played Crash probably since the PS1, and I know they did the remastered
Yeah.
collection of like the first three games.
I'll be honest.
Do I want to get it for nostalgia? Probably, just to have it to my add it to
I don't
my
know.
collection.
I don't know. I got to see what it's going to be like. I don't need another open world game that I have to spend 30
Mm.
hours trying to explore.
Well,
Um,
Crash has never been an open
no,
world
it
game,
hasn't, but that's where the market is right now. So,
right?
you
Well,
know,
Crash 4 is already out. This what we're trying to get into is now
yeah.
that they're just going to give it the
Yeah.
4K
Okay,
next
okay.
gen upgrade. So Crash 4 has been out for
Okay,
six months at
I
least.
thought there was a new one coming out. It's like Crash in just in time or something or
Oh yeah,
about time.
it's Crash 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
I didn't realize.
or
Yeah, I didn't.
about time or something like that. Yeah, everybody just calls it Crash 4. That's what it's called. It's like Crash 4 and then the
Hmm.
subtitle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
No.
been out for a while. This is just the update
Yeah.
for
So
next
the
gen.
last time I played it, I think was on the Nathan Drake collection. Because they, in the Nathan Drake collection, a part of the mission is they actually have you play Crash, the original Crash level, like the iconic level. They have you play through that inside
I
the
don't
Nathan
remember that
Drake
because
game.
are you talking about in the original Uncharted game?
I think it was either Uncharted 3 or 4. There's a fourth
It
Uncharted,
might
right?
have been 4,
Yeah.
unless it was like a secret thing that you had to find. 'Cause
No,
I've
no,
never
no.
played
It was
4.
literally part of the story when you're dealing with your character's daughter.
It might be the newest one in 4, which I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
played. I
yeah.
don't
It's
remember
4
that
then.
in the first three games, which I beat.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, yeah, the
No,
Insane Trilogy. I
and
mean, I heard good things about it. It was always a great game. It was a
mhm,
staple in Sony in the PlayStation franchise.
yeah,
Um,
but no.
exactly. Yeah, the linear platforming game. It was iconic. I
And
mean,
well, not only that, it's enjoyable. With a linear
right.
platform game, you have a singular goal instead of a giant open world. Like, I think the
It can be
best,
overwhelming.
yeah, the best kind of market approach is things similar to like Ratchet and Clank or like Dark Souls, where you have an open world, but you still have a linear path that you have to go through in order to open up more of the world. Whereas other games are just like drop you in the center and say, go forth.
Yeah, speaking of Ratchet and Clank, I believe they actually just
Yeah,
announced the release date today. It is set for arrives on PS5 June
yeah, like a
11th.
hub
So that's
world
the other
pass.
breaking news.
You have a hub that you return to, but every time you come back, something changes there, and then you go back out, come back, and it's just sort of it's open world, but you get to visit different worlds or zones. I think those are
Right, right.
usually the best kind, and hopefully Crash will be something like that, where I'm hoping the 4K update for it is good. I haven't actually seen Crash 4. I didn't even know it came out.
Yeah, it's been out for a little bit, so it'd be pretty cool. I mean, I'm glad.
Hmm.
It's interesting to see that games are getting the
Hmm.
next gen upgrade. Isn't it more or less just remastering the game like all these other games, like
Yeah,
Mass Effect? They're getting the next gen upgrade, more or
yeah.
less, except that they're just called completely different things. And it's
Hmm.
interesting too because remaster games you have to like basically rebuy.
Yeah.
Where like next gen upgrades, at least on the Xbox, I'm not 100% sure for PlayStation. They're
Hmm.
free updates because of the smart delivery
Hmm.
is what they call it on Xbox. So
Okay.
it's interesting how they're doing that. I mean, more or less, you could have just gave me the original Mass Effect games and give me the free update, I guess.
Yeah.
But they just want to remaster it and make more money off of you.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Remastering's a big ploy right now to keep the market like they're running out of ideas.
Right, right. Yeah, Spooky Crew said the Crash's case. It's not a just a
Okay.
remaster. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, they've added
Okay.
new features to later games to the newer one, like the
Okay. Okay.
older ones and stuff like that. Yeah, they definitely rearranged it and stuff. It's pretty cool. I definitely want to check them all out again just to give them a try for nostalgia.
Hmm.
It's always great.
No,
But
not too bad.
any thoughts on any last thoughts on Crash?
No, not really. I think it's an interesting series. I think it's kind of that reboot culture we're dealing with right now, where it's find a game, reboot it.
Right, right. At
So.
least they're trying to choose ones that are like to choose them that are
Hmm.
that have succeed and think that they still have a nice market. Because I mean, you figure like bringing brought Crash. Like I'm glad they brought back the trilogy before number four because if they'd have just brought four out of nowhere, people or kids, the younger generation would be like, "What is this game?
Yeah.
Like what is
I
one,
can
two, and
kind of see
three?"
that.
Because you figure like one, two, and three was like on the PS1, and then you get four, and it's like on the PS4. Like it missed two generations of gaming.
Hmm.
So
Well,
like it was definitely smart on their end to release
yeah.
the remastered and then go with four, which is I think the same process of what they're doing with Mass Effect. Like
Hmm.
Mass Effect was an older game, 360 days, and instead of just coming out with four, and granted Andromeda sucked, so that game they're just trying to sweep that under the rug.
the
Like, yep,
the
that didn't exist,
Mass
guys.
Effect MMO, single player MMO.
So I think that they're doing the same thing, releasing the remaster, let people play that, catch up on that, so they can play four and understand four.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't fuck up 4. Like hopefully it's actually a genuinely good game cuz like 3 was good and like everyone says it's good till you get to the ending,
Right, right.
you know.
The whole controversy.
But
But enough of the Crash talk. Have you check out the that I know you're a PC gamer and I'm personally an Xbox and majority a
yeah,
console gamer, but it's interesting to see that apparently the Xbox Series X and S outsold every console in the month of January.
it's not surprising at all. Makes
You don't think
perfect
so?
sense. It's all Xbox has always been an economical choice for a console as of late. It's highly sought after. American markets seem to take less and less to PS4, the PlayStation market, because people are moving towards computers usually when they're playing the PlayStation. I find that the Xbox is sort of it's the consumer grade console. It's what most people have. So with it being such a hot commodity, I could see why it just got
It's not
snatched
what
up.
most people have because PS4 and the PS. I hate the PS3.
Xbox One
But
beat the PS4, I thought.
no, not even close. It's not even close. Like let me see what it's at right now.
Hmm.
But yeah, the PS3 and the Xbox 360 were close. The 360 was outselling the
Yeah.
PS3 for the longest, and then the PS3 caught up at like the tail end.
Well, they reduced the price for it, is what happened.
Right, because it was expensive. Like
It
you
was
think about it,
expensive as
even
shit.
the PS3 was released with like a 60 gigabyte hard drive for like $600 or
Yeah,
$500. It
yeah, it was
was like
500 bucks.
stupid.
But no, I don't think it's surprising that Xbox Series X and S is the best selling, and I think it's also they had a it just felt like a better launch.
Okay, hear me out. PS4 sold 112.96 million units.
Uh huh.
The Xbox One sold 48.22.
Okay.
It's not even
Now, is
close.
that worldwide or just in the U.S.?
Worldwide.
Okay, that's a different story. Like for me, I'm envisioning the American markets here. The
Oh,
American
okay.
markets eat that shit
Yeah,
up,
they
whereas
tend to
like
just group all of the numbers
yeah,
together when they get it to. Heck, even apparently, I think the Switch outsold the Xbox.
yeah. Whereas
The
like
Switch went to 63 million.
look at Japan for example. They have a ton of people, and a lot of them play games. A lot of people play games.
Right.
It's part of their
Mhm.
culture to they
Yeah,
they do things like karaoke bars and stuff of that nature. Like they're and a lot of them are single and alone. So what they do is they work all these hours a night. They come home and they use their game console to relax because they're not married. They're not with anyone else
right.
because they have a declining birth rate. But their market is there, and the Xbox isn't in their market. Whereas here, we're we've got the Xbox everywhere. It's like the main staple, I would say, next to
Mhm.
the Switch.
Right. I mean, I kind of disagree with you. I think the PlayStation in general is outselling every console in our country,
Hmm.
in the United States. I
And
don't think like
that's the
it. I
weird
think
thing. Like
maybe not right
lately,
now.
whenever I talk
But
to somebody, they're always like, "Oh, I have an Xbox. I have an Xbox." It's a lot of people
yeah,
talk about having Xboxes.
yeah, it's not me. I always run into the case like, oh, you got an Xbox? Like, yeah, I got an Xbox. Like it
Yeah,
seems like it's always PlayStation. Granted, I mean, I had the PS4 in front of me, but
you just didn't play it.
I didn't really play it.
Yeah.
I played it for Uncharted and Horizon Zero Dawn, and that's about it.
Hmm.
I didn't play nothing else on it.
No, it makes sense. It's you have to want to play some of the games on it. Like,
I don't know. I do think I'm excited to see Xbox leading the sales in January because like it's showing that progress because coming from last gen, one of the worst generations, like especially in the beginning, and they were in that transitioning
mhm.
period and on towards the end of the Xbox One, it was starting to become like, all right, cool, they know what they're doing, they got all these game studios,
Yeah,
and now with the new Series X and S, the S is a hell of an entry level price. It's like $300,
yeah,
1440p, NVMe hard drive, and it's a streaming device. It's perfect,
yeah.
and you can put that anywhere. You can travel with it because it's small and light. Like it's the smallest Xbox ever made. Um, so it was like a perfect price point, and it outbeats
No,
PlayStation because
I
PlayStation
100%
5
agree.
has the regular and a diskless drive, and it's
Well, the
what
PlayStation 5's like the size of a freaking bookcase. I jest, but
it is huge. Have you seen one in person though?
no, I haven't seen one in person. I only see memes on the internet, and
It's so big. I've seen two of them side by side because my girlfriend has two brothers and they both got one for Christmas, and they both had it in the room, and they're just monstrous.
mhm.
So then I had to run home and I ended up grabbing my Xbox because usually I don't take that anywhere right now because I she has my Xbox One at her house,
Yeah,
so I can play basically everything on there. But I brought the Series X over and I was like, this thing is so little compared to the
yeah.
PS5.
Your mini fridge is small compared to their tower.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely it's crazy. But no, I think it's cool, and I think it's what's going to start being the new normal. We're going to start seeing Xbox
Hmm.
outshine PlayStation. I personally think, especially once these game studios start opening the floodgates with all the games about
Hmm.
to start coming out. Fuck, they got 24 developers, like,
Yeah.
and the
I
game.
like I haven't seen much in the PlayStation's way. Like nothing like exclusives have really piqued my interest other than Ratchet and Clank because the last Ratchet and Clank the game they did, they rewrote the first game and I loved that on the PS4 and I
Right,
wanted to, if anything I would get a PS5 just so that I could play some exclusives, but they only have
right,
one.
yeah, that game looks pretty cool. How like it changes worlds like instantly. Like there's like no loading times.
Yeah.
Yeah, that game looks pretty cool, but the PS5 does have some pretty nice exclusives lined up with Ratchet and
Hmm.
Clank. You have um the new Horizon Forbidden West game.
Yeah,
I'm excited for
I
that. The
do
new
remember
God of
that.
War game that's going to come out. I'm sure there's a bunch of them that are lined up,
Hmm.
but once Xbox opens that floodgate of all those games and all of them go on the Game Pass,
Yeah.
there's nobody that would, in my mind, would want to
Well,
stay with anybody else except for Xbox
I
or PC
think
if
the
you can
other
have Game
game
Pass.
that piques my interest, I believe there's a new game, the new Nier game coming up. I don't know if it's on Xbox. I think it might just be on PC and PS4 or PS5.
Right. Exactly, Spooky Crew. 24 really fucking good
Yeah,
developers. It's insane. Like there's so much talent behind all these studios. Like
yeah,
Obsidian,
and
like
the
now
only issue I worry about is hopefully they stay true to what they were before they got bought out.
right, right. Well,
Because
apparently they're basically able to operate more or less independently. They're just owned by Microsoft and the financial stability is there so that they can actually push their limits too, because like without the financial stability, they're limited on what they can make, as opposed to now there is
Yeah.
probably like no limits at that point.
hmm Like,
But I mean, hey, I mean now that I mean it's not official yet with the purchase of the ZeniMax Studios, but
mhm.
once that finalizes, New Vegas 2 is very
Ooh.
highly potentially could be
It's
made.
a very real option that could happen.
Right, expect because they own Obsidian, who created it, and then they would also have Bethesda, who is Fallout, and then them two come together or
Yeah.
something like that. Come on, I mean, I think that would
Yeah.
sell like crazy, like, and I think that'd be a great game to rebound off of 76 or whatever it's called, because that game was apparently awful.
Okay, so I was mistaken. It turns out Near Replicant is coming out to PlayStation, PC, and Xbox. So, like,
Hmm.
even a game that I thought was going to only stay near the PlayStation side is coming to both consoles.
Right.
So,
Remember last week when we talked about the show? The show was a
yeah.
PlayStation exclusive for since it's ever been created.
hmm
It's coming to Xbox now.
Yeah.
So like it's not the PlayStation to me isn't giving me a reason to buy the console
Yeah,
other than their
there's
little
nothing really
exclusives that
great.
they're going to have.
Yeah.
But I mean, their exclusives always have been 9 out of 10s, 10 out of 10s,
They
eight
have.
out of 10. They've always been
Yeah.
gems. But
Yeah,
I don't know. I like the ecosystem of Microsoft now.
like
Like
looking at
that's huge.
well, I guess Demon Souls is one of the ones coming to them. The
Oh yeah,
Demon
that
Souls
came
game.
out at launch. That was a remake
Yeah.
of a
Yeah,
old classic game.
no, it's the remake of
It's
the
a Dark
original.
Souls. It's basically
It's Dark Souls before Dark Souls. It was
Yeah.
kind of a flop fail game. It didn't do as great, but then because it was a whole new concept about how to do a genre. But like
Yeah.
I'm just looking here and like there's not really anything amazing on the PS5. Like
Yeah.
other than Ratchet and
Granted,
Clank
there's no
and God
games
of
out for
War.
either console.
Well,
I mean,
I mean
Xbox.
announced.
The series has a new
Even
game.
talking
That's
about
it.
announced, the potential
Yeah,
is there.
announced products. Yeah, yeah. So it'll definitely be interesting to see.
So
But another game we want to talk about here is I think you'll be able to talk about it a little bit more
yeah.
than
So
me. Warhammer
there's
40,000.
we just found out there are two new Warhammer games coming out in the next 3 months. I think
Yeah,
we've got
roughly.
Total War Warhammer 3, which adds some factions that I know the Spooky Crew is really excited about. And then they are adding the new Warhammer. Yes, it is. It is exciting. I like Total War Warhammer because it's a real-time strategy game and it's based in fantasy Warhammer and not modern or not
What,
Age of Sigmar.
what platforms is that one coming out on? I
I
don't
believe
remember.
PC. It's just PC.
Just PC. Okay.
Yeah. Most of the Warhammer games are I think all of them are at only
Well,
PC.
except
Really.
that one that we talked about
Yeah.
maybe
The
last
first
month. That's
person
going to be
game.
an Xbox
Yes.
exclusive.
It's going to be on PC as well, but it's
Yeah, because of Game Pass.
well, not even that. It was coming to Steam, I think.
Is it?
I think
Yeah,
it might be
maybe.
coming to Steam. So, but it's you've got that one, and then there's a new XCOM style, not XCOM style. People are calling it that, but it's just that top-down grid-based combat of 40K.
Right.
And the big teaser trailer right now is like Blood Angels fighting Tyranids right now, which is pretty cool because like fucking Tyranids,
Yeah.
I love them, dude. Gonna murder all the freaking Blood Angels. But like it's I forget what the title of the game is called now. It's freaking. Give me one sec here to look it up. It's Warhammer Battle Sector. That's what it is. Yeah. So Warhammer 40K Battle Sector. So it's going to be what looks like a top-down turn-based strategy. That's even a 40 game like that. Yeah. So it's going to be similar to Apocalypse came out. I really liked playing as a Adeptus Mechanicus clearing out a Necron ship. But now this game is like it's supposed to be the closest simulation I guess you can get to the actual Warhammer 40K tabletop where you've got like actual squads and stuff on a board and you're moving up and around and fighting stuff.
Mm-hmm. So
Yeah.
it sounds like it's almost like a Wasteland 3.
No, because Wasteland 3 has individual characters. That's the thing. Wasteland 3 is not grid based for one. It's ruler based. No, it's ruler based, but it also is single character, personal model driven. Whereas this is you've got five dudes or a land speeder or a freaking hive tyrant flying in and fighting a chaplain, you know. So it's going to be a large scale 40k battle game, it looks like, and it just got teased like 2 days ago or yesterday, and it's
Yeah.
already like only 2 months out. So they kept it pretty quiet, and it doesn't look like it has much depth yet. But I'm hoping they add some more to it. But Warhammer games can, you know, they can be really good or really really terrible.
Right.
So
It'll be interesting to see. Hopefully, once I get my graphics card, I can start checking these games out because
yeah.
I've personally never played any Warhammer game
And
ever.
honestly, one of the cool ones right now is the Warhammer. It's like Diablo Path of Exile style game.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's exactly right, Spooky. Licensed 40k games are swingy as fuck, and like, you know, look at what happens when Warhammer pulls their license. You get stuff like StarCraft, for example. You know, that was meant to be a 40k game, from what I understand. They pulled the license because they're like, we don't want a video game, and then we get shit like. That's out now. Like some of the stuff out now is pretty garbage, and some of the stuff is really fucking amazing.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. I'm definitely interested to check it out. I mean, we've already spoken before about the Xbox exclusive one. I think it's called like Riptide. I think.
yeah,
Because that's like more of like a first-person shooter
yeah. So
esque
yeah, as we've talked
Warhammer
about
game.
before on stream, is it's you know it's like Left 4 Dead style gameplay. You start at one point, you have to get to another point, and you're
Hmm.
just a guardsman. Yeah, it's Dark Tide,
Dark Tide.
and
Yeah, that's it.
you're a guardsman, and you have to run through chaos, and they're notoriously violent.
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely interested to dive into the universe. I mean, it's been a franchise that's
and
been around
and
since like ever.
when you move back up this way, we'd love to play tabletop with you. I can
Mhm.
introduce you to Warhammer Tabletop because between me
I
and
may
Spooky,
have played tabletop one
I
time,
don't think you did.
Warhammer wise, but I know we
You
played Dungeons
played
and
D
Dragons a
and
lot.
D, but we didn't play Warhammer. I don't believe. But with Spooky Crew hanging out with us, between me and him, we've got 12, 13 armies maybe. So
Y'all good? Y'all ready to go?
yeah, we're always ready to play. Once this freaking pandemic, like once everyone gets vaccinated, we're gonna start hanging out again. Yeah, exactly. I can't settle on a project either.
I hear that. I hear that. Um,
All
but
right.
there's another game though that
So,
came out of nowhere, and it's being produced by like a nobody at this point. Like we don't know
but
who it is.
that's the thing. That's what's so cool about games like this. So that Black Myth Wukong game that you just showed me, this week, it looks awesome. Like it looks like a genuinely good game, like Dark Souls, Sekiro style of like art and combat. It's all about that, physical, combo based dodging and comboing.
Yeah, this game just really blew me away just with the graphics.
It
Like when
just
it
looks
first
so
premiered
good.
like a few months ago and I saw like
Hmm.
the reveal trailer, I guess you want to call it, and it just showcased like like the world, what it looked like and how detailed everything was, and I was just like, what the heck game is this?
Yeah,
This game looks badass. And like
yeah.
and finding out it's being made by somebody like a group of people where it's like real small new developers
you know
and it's pretty
the
cool and
next the next best
they're
thing between an indie studio and a AAA studio. It's these niche
they're a
these niche
double. They're
studios.
considered like a double A,
Yeah.
I guess studio at this point. But I know that they're still hiring. I mean, they advertise at the end of all their trailers so far that they're still looking for more
Hmm.
more developers and stuff. So I mean, this game doesn't even have a release date. So I mean, this game might not come out for another 2 3 years potentially. But who knows? It may release next year. Just
Yeah.
never know at this point.
And
Because I mean, really, we don't know how far or how much they already have developed and
hmm
finished or what they want to make this. I mean, hell, I mean, they could just keep adding and make this like a platform where they keep adding more
no,
content to where who
exactly.
knows.
And like I've never seen this developer, so they're
Yeah,
supposedly have been around since like what I think their article said 2008 they've existed as a company. But like this game though, even though we just got teased with it, it's not until 2023 that it comes out.
speculated.
Yeah. Well,
It's not official yet,
that's just what the Google release date is telling us.
right? Because the developer is a Game Science Studio.
Yeah.
Never heard of them, but whatever they're doing, keep it up because that
It
game looks great.
looks amazing, but let's hope it's not another
Yeah,
cyberpunk game. We don't want another giant failure. But then again,
we don't want a
if
cyberpunk
they're
or a
delaying, if
division.
they have no release date and they're delaying, they have time to wait for next gen to really get in
Right,
everyone's hands, as we talked about before.
right. I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm
Yeah,
looking forward to see what kind of game it is. Like, is it an RPG or is it just straight up action? Like, you
it's going
can't
to be
really
an
tell by what
RPG
the
game.
gameplay we saw.
Well, you're playing as Wukong. Wukong is a god. He's the
Yeah.
monkey god. So like, yeah, you're playing as him. So you're playing a role playing game, and it looks like you're probably going through mythological
Yeah, but is it
fights.
going to have the RPG aspects of the game, or if
Are
it's
you
going to take
talking about?
the route with like skill trees, or if it's going to do leveling up? This I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I
Like,
get what you're going for there.
I wonder what kind of system it's going to have
Hmm.
in place. Because like you could just play through the whole game as Wukong and that just be the story. Like you don't I don't know, like you don't get leveling up
Or
or
probably
anything new.
progression. Most games have
Yeah,
that anymore because they can't make the game more difficult without adding more complexity. They could hand you all the
right,
tools at the beginning, I guess, but so
right. So I mean, I'm super excited for
it
it. I
just
just
looks fluid and solid.
yeah, looks great. I'm also eager to see what platforms it comes onto as well
Yeah,
because I don't think that's even been announced.
I really
Whether it's
hope
like
they
PC
don't.
only or if it's going to be on console.
I just hope they avoid PS4 and Xbox 360 or Xbox One.
Yeah,
I'm sorry for the people who have those consoles. I just really hope they avoid them.
yeah. Well, hopefully by the time it comes out, n- next gen will be current gen because
Yeah,
we're still in that transitioning period where
exactly.
next gen is still next gen. It's not even current gen.
Hmm.
But yeah, man. Any last thoughts or anything else in the gaming news segment
Not,
for today?
not really. It's just for the most part, it's still pretty quiet lately. It's nothing major's happening yet.
Right. Yeah, just the first Xbox Series X exclusive game just released. Little Nightmares actually came out today, actually, as we speak.
Yeah.
So just a couple of games come out that we've already talked about. So gotta check those
Hmm.
out, and hopefully I can review those in the coming months.
Yeah.
Hopefully, add it to my backlog. It's getting crazy.
No, I feel you, dude. I wanted to play some games, and then all of a sudden, this game Valheim came out, and like that game took the market by swarm. Like it came out of nowhere. So it's a brand new like sandbox survival game. You play as a Viking essentially in like Viking purgatory, and the idea is to curry favor with Odin to make it to Valhalla. And it's oddly polished for an early access game. As an early access game, it's got 5 bosses, a solid progression system. It's got content. Some of the controls are a little rusty still, but like it's a good game for just being like a small studio. Early access, and
Right.
that came out of nowhere. Like in the last week, went from hush hush to the entire market's bursting about it. Like I can see it all over Reddit now. It's starting to appear in Reddit. They're talking about it online, and it's even on Steam's front page.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. I'll have to check that one out too. I know you mentioned it the other day, but I didn't get to
Yeah,
check it out yet.
no,
But
it's a
yeah,
pretty solid game right now, and hopefully they can get through their roadmap. They just hit 1 million purchases the other day, or like yesterday or something, and they had 160,000 concurrent players on Steam.
that's not bad, especially being
No,
that like you said, it's
it
in the
was in the
early
top
access.
5 of Steam.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Steam. Speaking of Steam, Steam's been breaking records apparently, like with the most concurrent users, uh,
Oh,
and stuff like it's been
well,
like 26 million, 27 million, 28
well,
million, or something like that.
well, the thing is, Steam's so big. That's the thing. How do you track what Steam has? Like, it's just Steam is as a platform on PC. PC's one of the biggest gaming networks now.
Right.
For to play on Steam just means you open any one of the million games in the library.
Right.
So,
Hey, they're doing something right.
well, yeah, they went from being a game manufacturer to a
No, I
seller
definitely
of
agree.
games.
No, I definitely agree, with Spooky Crew,
Yeah,
because we got another topic later on why it's more accessible, but that's also going to be a problem
yeah,
in the
exactly.
future here. But yeah, man, let's move on to our next topic of the week. We're gonna talk about some gaming rumors.
Hmm.
I guess we'll start here with Sony. I guess they're trying to make the DualSense controller better than what it already is,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool because the controller itself was probably one of the most next gen of the console with the whole adaptive triggers and stuff like that, where it actually makes it feel like you're pulling on a bow or shooting a gun
Okay.
and all that kind of stuff. So it has like tension and stuff. It's not just like a vibration, like there's actual
Okay.
tension there. So like that's already the thing. But what we're getting at is here is um apparently they have two different patents in the work to add Wi-Fi receivers to them to the new one. I guess that helps with like communication and like latency, I
Okay.
guess, as opposed to being Bluetooth or whatever. I think they use Bluetooth.
Okay.
Um, but the other patent is to add an attachment that adds back buttons. Uh, I thought they already had that. I think it's on the PS4 controller now. So
What, the buttons
it's
down
a thing
here?
that like plugs into the bottom of the controller
Oh,
and it has buttons on the
I've never
backside.
seen it.
Yeah, they basically wanted to copy what Xbox did with the Elite controller
Oh, okay.
or Scuff's controllers because Scuff makes those controllers where they already had built-in buttons into the controller and you
Hmm.
can like change what they actually do. Because like you can like say I want the top back button to do A or B or something, so you can always have your thumbs on your joysticks as opposed to switching between
Yeah.
joystick and the buttons.
Yeah,
So
yeah, you
everything is
can
all here.
literally look and shoot and control and jump and grenade all in
Right?
one
Yeah.
location.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool. But have you personally held the PS5 controller at all?
No, I've not. The closest thing I have is the PS4 controller and the Xbox One controller. I don't have anything new.
One is the closest thing
Yeah,
to the Series X controller because
yeah,
basically they just made the same controller, just added a button.
yeah,
Don't fix it if it ain't broken.
exactly.
That they took that approach, but PS5 basically did let's take a controller that hasn't been doing well and
Hmm.
make it next gen. And honestly, what's interesting though, because of these features that the PS5 controller has with the DualSense, Microsoft has been sending out surveys to their customers asking them would they like to see the features that are on the PS5 controller be added to future controllers. Because like I'm basically taking that as Microsoft didn't put as much thought into the controller as
Yeah,
they thought.
and they're like, oh,
Like what
maybe it
happened?
actually was a good idea.
Like maybe this is like it's cool for like an immersive thing, but apparently these controllers like that tension and stuff is not good for like competitive play. Like you're playing Call of Duty competitively, it's
Yeah.
a bad idea.
Okay.
But you can turn it on and off. Apparently, I don't know, but it'd be pretty cool to feel it in like certain games. Like if I'm playing Uncharted or I mean in
Yeah.
Halo, I guess on
Adds the
Xbox if they
immersion
add
thing.
them.
Like the PS4 controller was big on like turning the controller into a part of the immersion. Like you could hear stuff through the microphone or the
Yeah.
speaker on the controller, which was really cool.
Right, and didn't it have some kind of motion thing too with that blue light? I think at one like it had slight motion.
I yes, like if you're playing The Last of Us, like when your freaking flashlight would start to die, you smack your controller, and it used the motion sensor,
Mhm.
and then you recharge your flashlight there.
Yeah. And the PS4 that I mean I think the PS5 has it too. The touchpad I guess it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, the touchpad on the top.
Yeah. I mean I don't know how useful that is, but I guess some games
It
could
it
include it.
it's not like I've never really had it become a thing. I've only ever used it to open up menus. Like it's
Right.
not
It's just a huge button. You're just like, all right, cool. I can press anywhere here.
slap, it like bop it.
Off here, yeah. Pop it, pull it,
Yeah,
pass it.
so like it was interesting, but I just haven't felt like it was usable yet. Like there's no real
Mhm.
reason to use it.
Right. And that was the thing because like I like these new features with the PS5 controller and I guess the ones they carried over from the PS4, but like I feel like a lot of third-party developers can't really maximize this because
Yeah,
like they would only do that for one console
console.
because
Yeah,
PC doesn't have it, Xbox doesn't have it, so why would they add it to their game?
yeah.
Like that's just a waste of like resources and stuff.
Well,
But if everything has it, then
yeah.
everybody has it, then go ahead for
But
it.
then it gives an incentive like that PlayStation could really tickle those developers to bring that content into their game so
Mhm.
that,
Well, I mean, some
you
some
know.
of them have like Call of Duty has the use for the adaptive triggers and stuff.
Hmm.
So I mean, like, but Xbox doesn't have it. But people showed like how crazy it can like really mess up your accuracy and stuff because it
Yeah,
really shakes your controller. But we'll see. I mean, it's pretty cool.
yeah.
But another rumor this week is with Microsoft. Everybody knows about the accusation of ZeniMax Gaming.
Hmm.
So it's not officially over. It's been approved in the United States. It's in going to the European Union now to be approved. But I guess in the meantime, Microsoft is creating a new subsidiary, I guess you would call it at this point,
Yeah.
called the Vault,
Hey, Phil.
so they can house it. What's
Yeah.
up, Phil?
So with the new acquisition, it just really puts us into the place where we know Bethesda is officially Microsoft's, and they're really trying to grab a hold of that Fallout as a series. You know, they
Hmm.
bought Bethesda. Let's take these two flagstaff games, you know, Elder Scrolls and
And Fallout.
Fallout, and make some fucking money.
Right, right. I
You
mean,
know,
they didn't just go spend $7.5 billion
to let them die.
and
Yeah,
not make a splash in the industry.
yeah,
Like they had a lot of ambitions. I mean, this
yeah.
purchase, they bought a lot. In that purchase, they acquired people who made Elder Scrolls, Fallout,
Hmm.
Wolfenstein games. They Doom, Evil Within, Dishonored. Um, fuck, I mean, there's a ton of games that
Yeah, there's some really
purchase
good
is
games.
coming.
There's some okay games, but like I think they're really trying to grab onto that that role playing game studio for console. Like if you talk about a
Yeah,
role playing game studio, a lot of people think Fallout
the
games, and they think
PlayStation games with
yeah,
the
and
JRPGs.
and not only that, now they have Obsidian as well, which is the other big role playing game
Hmm.
manufacturer. So now we've got
Right.
Vault plus Obsidian. Maybe they just put Obsidian with Vault too. So
Hmm.
there's a lot that could happen there. I think they want to rebrand it so that you know
Yeah.
what it does.
Right, right. And then like they also have that other game that's a new original IP called Starfield. That's supposed to be like the next big game, like because it's being produced by Todd Howard and that crew and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
those games are always great. So it'd be pretty cool to see what they do with that. So, but that game's always, as of right now, is I mean, because the big question is, are the games going to be exclusive? And they've can't really talk about it, but they said it's going to be a game by game idea. Hey now, Todd Howard, one of the best guys in the industry, man. Um, but this game, they're wondering if it's going to be an Xbox exclusive or you throw it on the all markets and stuff because like such a
if
huge game
Yeah,
apparently.
if they make it an Xbox exclusive, it really puts Sony's nuts in a vice to come up with some competition somehow.
Right,
Do they really want to squeeze out their competition in the market? Maybe they might. Because, like,
right.
if you own the whole market, then you don't innovate. Then it's worse for gamers.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. I think what they're doing, both companies, Sony and Microsoft, are doing a pretty good job of trying to one up each other. They're always
yeah,
trying to push the limits,
they have
push
a
the
mutual
industry.
respect for each other, which helps
Hmm.
with them wanting to do better than the other
Right.
person.
Right. They always try to work together, but then they also try to be better than the other person,
Hmm.
obviously, because you want more people to play on your platform
Oh yeah,
and stuff like that.
you just want to sell
But
your
I'm glad
console.
that everybody's trying to come together. Like, we don't care where you play, we just want you to play
Yeah,
games. Come play our games. So I
exactly.
mean, it's pretty cool. I just still find it's great that oh yeah. They
Yeah,
they definitely had tons of like they've had exclusives in the past too. I think like one of the original Fallout games or something like that was exclusive at one point. I could be wrong. I forget that. Um, what who wait actually? Oh yeah, that I hate when people have to wait like a whole year
yeah,
for DLC. That's like one of the worst things you can do to a community. You're just like, oh, I gotta watch this person play it for a whole year and then
yeah.
I can play it. Like
Well,
I
not
deal with it
like
now with Call of Duty.
the fucking Persona release. Oh, if you didn't have the console and you had to wait for it on PC, like that was one of the things that killed me. Where they like do a staged release and they're like, we're gonna release it in Japan early, and then we're gonna release it for console, and then PC late down the road. So
Right.
like
By that point, like maybe the hype is already
it's go-
came and gone
it's
for that
gone.
game.
Like cause and well they did put a lot of people's nuts in a vice and said if you stream this you'll get it's a bannable offense. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I
So
didn't
like
know that. That's crazy.
it really tears up the community having to wait to play content that somebody else has.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy. Man.
And
This will
and
be interesting
and
though.
it's usable too. That's the thing. They're just sitting on it.
Right. It seems like it was already ready to go, but they're just
Yeah.
staggering the releases, which is unless their infrastructure is not there to support all of it all at once. That would
Uh,
be my guess.
but yeah, so yes, I agree that the acquisition of Vault is, them taking over that studio, but it's at the same
Yeah, they're
time,
definitely setting it
you
up for
know,
it to be completed.
it makes it a little easier for them to have collaboration between their people and them and still make it theirs to keep a hold of it. So that's
Right, right.
so, for the people who are on PlayStation, sorry for your loss.
Yeah, because I don't think every game's going to be an exclusive on Microsoft or on the Xbox console
No.
or even
And
PC.
and the thing is, they want to reach these markets. Like, you want to reach the Asian market. You gotta release it on PlayStation.
You imagine them just making Skyrim an Xbox exclusive? It's probably not going to happen again. I think that was one of the
The
games
game,
that was
the game,
originally.
the game will only become more dumpstered.
Yeah, I think what was it, Oblivion, or there was a Skyrim game that was
Elder Scrolls,
or
you
Elder
mean?
Scrolls game
There you
that
go.
was exclusive. Skyrim has just taken over like the name placeholder of that franchise,
Yeah,
which is
that's
crazy.
the only game they've released for the past infinity years. So like,
Right.
but there was Oblivion. I don't know if that one was because I remember
Yeah.
that being on 360. I don't remember if that was exclusively 360 though, because I know it was
Right.
on
Right.
PC. I'm pretty sure.
So I think what they're talking about where it'll be like a game by game
Yeah,
decision for sure. Because I think like some games that are already been on other platforms, I think they may keep them on all
but
platforms.
if they
But
make a new
anything
game,
new, like their Starfield game that's been announced, but not none of that stuff's released yet.
yeah,
I think that'll be one of their first games that will be an exclusive.
hmm,
Like if you want to play this big, huge, triple, quadruple A game, come to Microsoft ecosystem. We don't care how you play it,
yeah,
whether it's on Xbox, XCloud, PC, come play it.
yeah,
Leave PlayStation basically.
yeah, and that's what Microsoft will want to do. All right.
I'm trying to look up if that game was exclusive.
Oh, Oblivion.
Yeah, because it's going to drive me. Oblivion was initially released only on Xbox
There you
360.
go.
Yes, and I think it came out later on the PS3, if I'm not mistaken, like a few like way down the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think it was a timed exclusive at that point.
Hmm.
So like Spooky Crew did say like they did have like a a relationship with Microsoft even before
Hmm.
a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's because Microsoft enabled them to release the games, and then they only had to develop it for one console.
Right, it made it easy.
Yeah, it made
And I mean,
development way easier.
apparently I've never played that game, but I heard it was good.
Oblivion, from what I understand, was good, but it was no Morrowind, from what I hear.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about any of the Skyrim. I've never played any of those games. I probably should
Mm.
eventually, but
You have to want to play them. They're really in depth, and you have to want to get into the I- the role playingness of it because it's a first person game first and foremost is the idea. It's a first person, like, you make your character, you build your character how you want to build it. Your choices
right,
aren't refundable usually, so like it's all about getting into the D&D sort of I'm an adventurer, but you're a solo
right.
adventurer.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll check it out one of these times. I'm pretty sure Skyrim and all that stuff will be around for a long time coming.
Yeah, no, exactly, Spooky Crew. Morrowind and Oblivion were great. Skyrim, it, eh. The mods what made the game useful or playable. Like, they actually made whole
It's more of a
zones.
platform now at this point.
Yeah, well, not that it's a platform. The modding in Skyrim, people have recreated entire zones of Tamriel, I think it is, in Skyrim. So you literally just leave the map and there's a whole new continent to, like, part of the continent to explore because somebody made it, fan made part of the continent.
Yeah, that's hey, bravo to them. That's skillful there.
Exactly,
Officially doing it.
exactly, Spooky Group. And every dungeon repeats. Like, you get into,
Oh, that's pretty
I've
bad.
done like 4 or 5 dungeons that were the same exact layout, and they just changed the monsters a little bit.
Hey, that sounds like the most recent Avengers game.
Yeah,
I'm getting started on that one.
exactly. It's just some of the games lately. It's like, okay, cut and paste, cut and paste. Look at all the content, and it's just a
Garbage.
giant plane of emptiness.
Right, it's the same thing over and over and over and over
Yeah,
and over. It's not fun.
no, it isn't.
Time to be more creative.
Yeah, and
But
so the next topic. This
right,
one, this one scares me. So like we're getting back to the same point again. So a reporter recently dubbed this Chipageddon.
Yeah, I
So
think it's a
like
great tagline.
yeah, so like a few years back we had a similar occurrence where like com- uh, electronic components became scarcer, and it was hard on the market. We've
Hmm.
had it. Sorry, we've had it twice now. So the first one was the RAM factory in China, like the main factory for RAM for most of the world, burnt down. There was a huge fire that happened when I was in college, and the prices of RAM doubled, tripled,
Right,
quadrupled. They were
right,
expensive as all get out, and now they're back down to a manageable price. But now we're looking at the processors, from everything from a graphics card to a CPU to a phone, a car.
right.
We're getting to the
Everything.
point where everything is an electronic component with tons of processors in it, linked processors to do all this computing power. The problem is, you can only make so many processors. And China is really the big manufacturer for all these electronic components, China and India, I think. So like we've got a really throttled um, throughput for the market, and we're only
Right.
increasing demand. So now we're looking at a potential fall. Yeah, exactly. Recycle your fucking electronics. Like that's a big thing. Like I'm a big proponent, and I recycle all of my old computer parts. But like the issue is, if we don't recycle our electronics at this point, and you've been throwing them out in the dump without taking to a proper electronics recycling center, we're just losing actual metal and minerals that we need, like rare earth components that we use for
Right.
these computers. They're just ending up in landfills.
Yeah.
And
I know Apple has a
yeah,
program set up where you can recycle their phones, like any
yeah.
electronics, so you can go through them to do it.
hmm And like Staples is a big one. They'll take any computer part and recycle it for
That's
free.
cool.
Yeah.
If you can find a Staples.
Oh, I find them. There's like two near me. So
I
I
think there's like one in the Charleston area down here.
yeah. So I I've I've recycled for a long time, but the issue now we're facing is there's not enough processors to go around. We're
Right.
gonna hit a
And,
point soon.
and the thing is, we're cycling back to what Spooky Crew said earlier. Is like PC gaming has become more accessible, and
not
because of
not
that,
not
all
PC
the
game,
prices.
just gaming in general is more
Right.
is bigger. And not only that, we're going to deal with the fallout of COVID, where these factories had to throttle their crews, their child labor staff, for one, had to throttle their crews. And if we move them into the into the first world status where we don't want these people living in squalor, these factories are going to lose their
Their
throughput.
production.
So we're
Yeah.
we're dealing with the fact the future is catching up to us now. Our very wasteful lifestyles are actually coming and catching up to us, and we're going to get to the point here where electronics are going to skyrocket in price because you can't get the things to run your components anymore. And that's a
Right.
huge problem for the gaming world because we just watched the PS5 and the Xbox releases. They're getting scalped. The graphics cards, they're getting scalped. We're dealing with this people who can buy in bulk do and then resell for double the price of what one of
Because you
them
can't buy
costs.
them at the normal price anymore
Yeah.
because they're not available.
So
That,
the
I'm honestly worried about that with the
yeah,
3060 card that comes out later this
and
month.
and not only that, the other issue we're dealing with is the market is being turned on its head because people aren't even using these components for personal use anymore. People are
Mhm.
buying these components en masse to mine cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
So we're now dealing with a market that's also you can't get into without electronics. And to make the money in this market, you have to have electronics and you have to buy all these extra. So the market is we're getting to a point where we have to figure out a sustainable cycle, and we aren't. So we're not going to have electronic components soon, like the processors that make the actual
Yeah.
logic.
Yeah, at will for a reasonable price. Everything is going to go back up.
Yeah,
But I think it might be part of the process because I mean, figure parts used to be really expensive, then they became affordable. Now I think we're going back up
yeah. It's because the production finally met the demand,
yeah,
and now the demand is eclipsing the production. So we're going to have to see
by a
because
lot too.
that's basic economics.
Yeah,
Production has been like this, and demand went like this. So as demand passes it, you know,
Yeah,
The
it sucks
prices,
because
yeah,
and then COVID had such a huge role between like you
yeah,
said, knocking out production, but because everyone's working from home. Now I got to get a new computer. Now I got to get a laptop. Now I got to
yep,
get a webcam. Now I got to get this. I got to get all
exactly.
these new electronics just to work from home. And you now, it's crazy. Like every household has to have X amount of
Well, let
computers,
me
X
ask you
amount of
this:
games.
how many smart devices do you own?
A lot.
I watched you play with your light bulbs. That requires components. Like we're talking
Yeah.
about things that have receivers, have logical
Right. Because you
processors.
figure I have
Not
four
not a
smart light
processor,
bulbs.
but it has receivers and things like that. We're looking at, we're gonna run out of things, and a big part of what runs electrical components right now is like gold. Gold is in a lot of electronic components. Gold is a very, it's not just a luxury thing anymore. It's used in electronics. Same with I think there's silver also in electronic components, and like silver. Just recently, there are silver vendors in America who one of them did like one of the biggest silver suppliers in America. They said they only had 90 silver bars left in stock for North America.
Yeah,
They had thousands,
that's
and
crazy.
now they're down to 90. Double digits. So we're talking about rare earth materials that we need to worry about, like not just like iron and like, copper and things like
Obviously, I
this. We're
know
talking about like the rare
like
stuff.
fossil fuels and stuff like that. We're eventually going to run out, like oil and
Yeah.
stuff like that. That's an eventuality. But are these rare earth metals also in that same category of
Oh
like
yeah.
we're eventually going to
Yes,
run
yes,
out
yeah, yeah,
completely?
very, yes. So you can only get certain rare earth metals in certain parts of the earth, too. The
Hmm.
conditions have to be right for those things to appear. And the
Do
issue
you,
is,
do you think once we figure out how to drill deeper, because obviously
no.
we've only dug like
Well,
barely into the ground.
that's the thing. A lot of yeah, it's down there, but the issue is then we're disrupting the actual earth. It's like look at what mining does to the earth. If we dig deeper, we're only going to disrupt the earth even more. You know,
Right.
we've most of Earth's water comes from underneath the surface. Like it's not rivers, lakes, and oceans that we pull water from. It's groundwater, and
Right.
digging is only going to disrupt that. So we're
Yeah,
dealing with
and then that becomes like toxic and stuff like that. Yeah, I know about the was
so
it with fracking too?
yep.
Yeah.
So we're looking at an issue where we want to get these rare earth metals, but we're going to destroy our lives to get them. So
I think I have a solution that Elon Musk is working towards.
what?
Mining these rare earth metals from like other planets and like asteroids.
That is the goal of humanity. But I don't want to ruin.
That's a great
Yeah,
comment, Spooky.
I agree, Spooky. I would also not like to ruin the Earth because we need Skyrim the seventh installment on the PS5. Yep.
Right. I mean, hell, Skyrim is you can run that game on everything. You can run on your fridge, your
Your toaster.
Tesla.
Yeah. Can it run
Yeah,
Doom? So we went from can it run Doom to can it run Skyrim?
Skyrim. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It is
So
incredible to see that some of those games can run on that.
yeah. So we're getting to the point now that we're going to be in trouble not only for gaming but also for everything that's
Everything.
the modern
Just look at all
lifestyle.
the fields that require that, like
Yeah.
the medical industry, like all those devices that they use for that. That's
Hmm.
gonna be scary. And then with this whole cryptocurrency, like what if we go into the digital currency age where like cash is like no more?
Yeah.
That's gonna blow up the market insanely, even more than what it already is. And then gaming had its biggest year ever during the year of 2020. Compliments the COVID, I guess, for doing something right. I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, but gaming was already on that trajectory that's been going up ever since it was created. It's never had like a down
No.
time.
Yeah, nobody ever went, okay, well, the gaming's over. Like, some people in the beginning said gaming's only a fad, it's going to go away.
It's only for nerdy people.
Yeah, it's not. Gaming is for everyone. And not only that, everyone loves games. Everyone, from Boggle to Scrabble to Dungeons and Dragons and more, gaming's next evolution was to play video games. You can do anything in a video game. Hey, if you want to be a dude dressed up in a peacock costume flying through the sky on a dragon while shooting laser beams from your eyes, you can do it.
You can do it.
You can do it. That's what video games are. instead of the theater of the mind, it becomes the theater of whatever the fuck you want it to be. Like, you can, as long as you can imagine it, you can put it on the screen, is the idea that we're moving towards.
Yeah.
So video games only got, and they become
Want to be a
Goat?
Yes,
there's a game for that as well.
There's a
Goat
simulator.
Simulator.
For
There's a
everything.
simulator for every game in the world. Farming Simulator. Trucking Simulator. I don't even know how Trucking Simulator is fun. I watch people play Trucking Simulator after they spent 12 hours actually
Driving a
trucking
truck.
as a trucker. What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, there's a
You
game
really
for everyone.
have to enjoy that to do
Yeah.
that.
So,
I mean, we've always had a flight simulator. I mean, granted, the newest one is
yeah.
10
But,
out of 10
like,
already.
Man has always dreamed of being in the clouds, but like, there's a
Right.
game for everything for everyone.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's definitely an endless future. I mean, it's only going to get better. It's going to get more and
Yeah.
more realistic. One of these
And-
days, it might be like Ready Player One. We're in the damn game.
Yeah, so it's definitely a scary future where we may not have any
these
electronic
parts,
the
yeah.
parts to do stuff. So it's going to be, you know, not getting a phone every 2 years. You know, how is your
Right.
your
Well,
phone
yeah, that
has
was the
to
problem
last you?
because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's a huge issue because everyone
that's
was like,
the
"Oh, I
issue.
got to upgrade every year," as opposed to upgrading.
Mr.
every 2 years,
Apple,
every
look
3.
at you. You're the problem. You're like, yeah, this is the issue, and I was like, oh, we're
But hear me out. I had the 10. I skipped out on the 10s, and then I got the 11. So I skipped the generation there. I got 2 years.
no,
and then
no,
this is the
it's
11.
10 and then it's 11. That's how numbers work.
I missed out on that mid generation,
Like,
and then I have the 11.
hey,
I'm
I
not
went
getting the 12.
I went from the
I'm gonna
Pixel
get
1 to the Pixel 3. Look at that. I skipped so much in between.
Okay, I got you here. This is the Apple Watch 3. They're on like 6 or 7 now. Like I haven't upgraded.
Why? Why would you? You get what I mean?
It still tells me the time and gives me my notifications.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's 5%.
Yeah,
I
dude.
feel bad for you, buddy.
But dude, yo, Spooky Crew, when we hang out, he just sits there and he's like, I'll get it eventually. My phone died, guys, but I'll get it eventually.
It might start charging.
And then he just sets it down and it stops charging. He's like, ah!
Yeah, no, yeah, you're definitely a trooper there for that.
Yeah, I
As
don't know
soon
how.
as I have one minor issue with my phone, I'm like, nope, time to get a new one.
Yeah, for me, like I put up with the Google Pixel for so long until it finally became, and like until
At
I
least that was a
shattered
good
the
phone.
screen.
Yeah, at least it was a good phone.
Yeah, and same with the 3, but I found it in Egyptian tube. Yeah, dude, that is where the Egyptians were the first ones to invent
Yeah.
the Galaxy S5. After the aliens came and visited and helped them make the Baghdad battery.
Oh, jeez. Oh man.
All right,
Well, no,
so
yeah, back to our topic here. What we can recommend to people though is, like you said, recycle the electronics. Try not to buy electronics. Don't buy in bulk to resell. I think scalping is awful. I'm glad some countries are starting to ban it, like making it straight up illegal.
well, scalping tickets is already illegal in a lot of places. Like buying a bunch of concert tickets and the scalping, I'm pretty sure is illegal. Why isn't it the same thing with electronics like this?
Right. It only makes sense, and I'm pretty sure that they can track it. They can go, oh, this one IP just bought 100 of them.
And the key here is, if you're going to scalp, then the government should come after you with taxes too. Like these people aren't always disclosing, the fact that they're scalping.
Right. Exactly.
It's on the
but,
DL,
I mean,
cash, things like that.
Has the chip again affected you yet, personally?
No, but I'm seeing in the foreseeable future that I'm going to get bent over by it, especially with the 30 series graphics card. I want one, but I don't know if I really want to put it in my budget. Yeah, they delayed student loans again, and so I've got tons of disposable income, even though I'm still saving money. Like I'm up to almost $4,000 now in my savings account. And I don't have to worry about student loans, so I keep saving and saving, and then I can pile it in later after making interest off my savings account. But
Right.
Do I want to invest $300 to $600 into a graphics card? I want to, but like,
Right.
maybe I might
you're
not right away
at
miss
that
out.
point where like your graphics card still performs at a reasonable level. So
It's great. It performs
you're
great.
you're still at that stage where it's not a necessity yet. It's a want over a need at this point.
Yeah.
But
My
in the next
graphics
year or
card's
two,
only a year old, but
Right.
like my
in about
last
a
one,
year
I
or two, it
last
could
for
be
6.
outdated, right?
It just depends on how quickly development moves forward and asks for more demanding things. Like, I
Right.
can do VR, I can do 4K if I really wanted to, but like I get frame drops every so often. I don't know, I think it might just be poor optimization of games, but like, even I'm playing Stellaris and it's like, it's a 4X game and I'm getting 88 frames a second. I'm like, why?
Right. Yeah. I mean, hopefully it doesn't affect me because I'm definitely trying to get my first graphics card. I
Yeah.
don't even have one.
And
I got a
that's the
PC
big
without a
thing.
graphics card.
Trying to get one is going to be an issue, and it's only going to get more expensive because people are still Bitcoin mining. Like they're coin mining in general. They're
Yeah.
cryptocurrency mining. Period.
Right.
And so they
Did
just,
you get some Dogecoin?
dude, I had Dogecoin back in college. I think I had like one.
Back when it was like a half a penny, if that.
It was like less than that. You needed like multiple Dogecoins to get $1. Like many, 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 many Dogecoins.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
it just takes, it's up to
I,
4 cents.
I actually, that might it
Yeah.
might be down there because I think it was up to 7 or 8 the other day.
There you go. So see, it's hold. Just keep holding it. Just keep
Yeah.
holding it.
I mean that's what I keep seeing with investors. Unfortunately, in South Carolina, you can't buy cryptocurrency. I guess through most apps, but it allowed me to buy uh $5 worth of Bitcoin, but it won't let me buy Dogecoin. Why? I bought $5 worth of Bitcoin on Cash App stocks, but when I was trying to use Robinhood, I can't buy any of them. So I'm just like, it's interesting.
Yeah,
And it has something to do with South Carolina.
and I think the whole thing is a little crazy because it's just going to become it's just going to become another currency out there. Are we going to move towards it? Maybe, but like the whole thing is a
Right.
little goofy that you can just make it from nothing. Like it's what is the algorithm they're work? Because the idea is you're working on these complex algorithms that like huge algorithms that are like mapping out the universe essentially, and it's like you're just adding your computer in to help out with the processing power.
Right.
But
Yeah.
like,
Like because like you said, like you really don't have to work for this money. You
hmm
just like make a computer, let it
and
mine for
and
you,
not
and
only that, it's most times to make money you have to be in an apartment complex that
then
pays for your electric. Otherwise, if you're paying for your own electric, you're not really making that much. The
right.
the the cost to get into it, like the cost to make the coin, is almost leveled out by the electrical the worth of the coin.
Is it? Because I mean, I know Bitcoin because I follow. It's up to like $48,000 for 8 Bitcoin. It's disgusting.
Yeah, well, to get a Bitcoin, you would need a rig of like 20, 30 graphics cards, and then you would have to run them all for a few days.
Yeah, that's. I don't even want to think about that bill.
Yeah, so
But but yeah. Any last thoughts on the
and
chip
and
again?
don't even forget to mention the fact that you also have to cool those graphics cards too. So
Right.
you have
Yeah.
all that heat you're generating. So it's just a lot of wasted energy. But no, I
Sounds like
think
it.
I think we're definitely going to run into an issue until the cryptocurrency market figures itself out and how it's going to work because people are going to continue to scalp these cards. Is exactly right. Just the noise. I work
You can just
for
hear it.
IT. I know what a server room sounds like, and 30 of those cards will sound like a server room very quickly. But like, yeah, no, chip again is going to be a problem, and we're going to see that happen soon because every person has multiple devices. Like I've got a computer, Jordan's got a computer, I've got a work computer, I've got a processor in the dock for my work computer, I've got a phone, there's so much stuff
Yeah, it
out
starts to
there.
add up.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. I can't even. Don't even think I can count how much stuff I
And
have right
and
here
not
in
even
front
that,
of me.
TVs now, all TVs, every TV that's made nowadays has a
Have a
processor in it
processor, yeah, because of the
because
smart
it's a
TV
smart
feature.
TV.
Yeah. Heck, even my wireless headphones have them now.
Yeah, but
Yeah, everything has it.
all right, so
Like,
let's talk about something else for a little bit.
all right,
Before
yeah,
we get
let's
more bummed out about the future of humanity.
no, yeah, sounds good. Let's move on to our non-gaming topics of the week. Let's go and get into some more global news, kind of like what we did last week. So, if chat has any ideas or input or topics, throw it in the chat. We'll
More
we'll,
than
we'll
welcome to
definitely start
join us
talking
in on
about
the
it.
conversation here. But so,
Right.
what'd you think about the constitutional hearing about impeachment this week and last week?
No, yeah. When I heard Trump came out and started saying like, "Oh, it's unconstitutional to impeach me since I'm no longer in
Well,
office,"
he's just getting
but
that from his Republican ass
idiot,
leeches.
right? Because like, does he not realize like it basically would prevent him from
Yeah. Well,
running
he's
again?
he's also not the first president or the first elected official to be impeached from an office. Like,
Hmm.
I forget who was the first one, but they impeached him from the office as he was about to take another office. So he got
Right,
permanently banned from taking any offices. So it's like,
right,
we're
yeah,
not banning you. You're still the president. You're still a president. You still get called Mr. President. You are President Trump still, just like we still have President Barack Obama. We still have you will forever be known as a president, and you can still run for office. That's the problem. You know,
right, exactly.
did
And
did he explicitly cause the mob? It was, it's a give and take, and
right,
I have my opinion, and I'm not looking to trigger anyone here, but he did set the stage and say, okay, go forth.
yeah.
Here's when
Go
we're
and do
doing
this.
it.
He said it in other words for it,
Yeah,
basically.
and that's the thing. He planned the event, and then he invited all these people. So then these people are all like, "Oh, we're gonna be in the Capitol," and he's like, "We're gonna fight for America." That was the rally. The name was like "Fight for America" or something there. So like it's already psyching up. Yeah, exactly. He's been preaching this violence for 5 years.
Right,
So
for a long
you
time.
know, is he the one who directed the mob? No.
No.
Did he incite it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he
But then
did.
and then
You know.
did he do anything to stop it? No.
That's the other big thing, neglect of duties. That's
Right.
crazy to me that he watched this, and he essentially just waited and watched to see if they
Right.
would murder his
So
opposition, because if they
my
got to him, he wins the whole thing. If they were to
right.
murder everyone there, he would have
Yeah.
made out the victor, because then he would have had to declare martial law or stuff like that. If we had something like that, he would have had to take the reins, and would we have still had a peaceful transfer of power if the election didn't get certified? So like
Right.
watching this violent mob and not even condemning them post violence. People lost their lives. Over 100 police officers were assaulted. The Republicans are like, Blue Lives Matter, unless we're beating the fucking shit out of them. Then they don't
Right.
matter. You can die.
Exactly.
And if you were black or brown, you were even worse on the scale then that day.
Yeah.
The things
Yeah.
they said to those people, it's horrifying. And even day 3, just watching the videos and listening to the stories recounting the Republicans who are currently listening to this trial, people like Rand Paul, I think it is sitting there in the back doodling on a piece of paper instead of paying attention and doing his civic elected duty.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
There are
Exactly.
videos of
It's
them
insane.
chanting "Fuck the blue." How
But last week it was Blue Lives Matter, but this
this
week
week
it's
is
saying fuck
"Fuck the
them.
police." Fuck the police. That is this week's chant. It's like
Yeah.
it
It's,
only matters when you're the one on the receiving end,
right. Just
because
look at it. The greatest example I have for it was back when Black Lives Matter was protesting at the White House, very peacefully, no violence, and he went out there and maced and pepper sprayed
and
and moved
threatened
the crowd out of
yeah.
the way just for him to take a picture.
With an upside
And
down Bible. With an
yeah,
upside
holding
down
a
Bible.
Yeah, after hiding in a bunker for how long because he was scared. But
Yeah.
now you have a group of people who are storming, rioting your own Capitol building,
And
and
he's
you
watching. He
you
sat
sit
in
the
the
Oval Office
dining room.
watching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you
sat
just stand
in the
right there by
dining
the window
room
watching, like, hey guys, keep doing what you're doing, basically.
good work, guys.
Good job.
And then
And don't
and then
do
in the
nothing.
end he's like, "We love you." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Actually killing people. It's
He's
insane.
watching actual murder, and he's like,
Good job, guys.
"Yeah." So, yes, he's complicit. Yes, he incited the mob. Did he lead them? No, but he incited them. He was the reason they did what they did. And inciting a riot is a criminal offense.
You know, another scary thing to look at. Apparently, like out of like the 160 or 190 people they arrested and charged on this, like 30 of them are veterans.
Yeah, and what's even crazier to me right now? These people who do what they do, yes, don't get me wrong, the military is a whole nother topic that we can discuss on another day. Like I have my opinions of the United States military and the people in charge, but like the issue I'm seeing now is people are now upset. Like this there was this story of a mother and daughter. Like they were just sad that they're at 2 in the morning. SWAT team busted into their fucking house and took their father into prison, into custody. I'm like, good. You don't deserve to get to live peacefully in America when you actually attack our capital. You are now a terrorist. Why are we allowed? Why do you think you get the same justice when you're a terrorist? They are like, we like Guantanamo Bay. Okay, well, if you're really into fucking going after the terrorists, just wait till it's your turn.
Right, exactly. I think it's so crazy though. Like they were never labeled as terrorists, ever.
No, not once.
That whole right. They weren't. They were not labeled as terrorists.
Nope.
But like, let them be Muslim. Let them be
black.
Any black.
Antifa. This freaking straw man Antifa. You know, it's
everything's Antifa. Anything that happens in
Antifa.
States,
Antifa. It's like the caravan. Do you remember? Have you ever seen the video of the guy on Fox News who talks about like the caravans, for example? He's like, "There's a Mexican caravan. There's a caravan from South American immigrants currently in the Mexican city of." He couldn't even pronounce it. You know, and Fox News. Do you see how they're tearing themselves apart this week?
No, I have not checked it out.
Oh, one of their highest rated show, the guy who runs the highest rated show,
I think I heard about this.
just got canceled this week because of the voting machine issues. All you have to do in America to take down one of these big companies is literally look at them and sue them for defamation, and they're like, oh God, we would lose this. What did we do? You're fired. You can be a fucking child molesting rapist in Fox News, and they'll keep you on. But as soon as you get a lawsuit about defamation, you're fucking up. Grab them by the fucking wallet, not the balls, the fucking wallet, and it'll work. You know, it's
another thing I guess in our government is the old Georgia representative being removed from her duties.
Yeah.
Is this the one that we were talking about last week?
That's last week. Yep. They voted to remove her from all of her duties, so all she gets to do is vote. She doesn't get to join in any discussions about education or.
The vote didn't go through to completely remove her.
They can't. That's the issue because she was elected into office. They can't remove her, or
even through a vote.
That's the issue. That would set a precedence. Think about it. If you had like 3 Republican people in office and everyone else was Democrat, then they could just vote to remove. The idea is she's removed from her committee, so she doesn't get her voice in ways of judging how to run the country. She gets to just talk about passing laws.
Well, realistically, could they impeach her as like a president? I don't know how that works.
I don't believe so, but the issue at hand is she hasn't done anything criminal. She hasn't done anything criminal. She's just proved that she has proved that her stances are actually are detrimental to people in the United States.
Right.
She's actively going after people in the United States. Like she's literally said, along with some of the other Republicans in office right now, that the only good Democrat is a dead Democrat.
Right.
That's that's threatening other people.
A crime, but saying that is pretty bad.
Yeah, exactly. So, and same with like the Jewish space slavers. That's just anti-Semitic bullshit. That's causing issues within, the country.
Spooky Koo said that she can be recalled, but not by the federal government. So
exactly.
I guess
her district would have to pull her out.
Petition, like a vote.
Yeah, her district would have to remove her. They couldn't push her out because then that would leave a precedent that, if one faction owns that body of government, push everyone out until they're all the same color.
Right. Yeah, that would be pretty bad.
So, her district would have to say no, she's not representing us anymore.
Right. Yeah, that'd be interesting. But hey, we'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah. So, but the other cool thing though this week is the vaccines. I believe it's this week, or it might have been the end of last week. We have more vaccinated people than we do per day vaccinations than we do new cases per day. So we're getting to the
Yeah,
point where we are now able to start controlling the spread and then effectively mitigating it. On top of that, they've also discussed how I believe it might be Pfizer or uh, I think I don't want to say the other one. I think Pfizer might be the one that did it. There's now talks about a single dose vaccine instead of a 2-dose vaccine.
hmm
By mixing the two vaccines together, they may be potentially able
it
to
just
do a
sounds like
single.
common sense to
Yeah,
me.
so there was just a request put into the FDA, I think, or something, about being able to do a single use vaccine.
Right,
So we may be getting a better vaccine soon, which is also nice.
right. I just need someone to answer my question. If you already had COVID, do you need to get the vaccine? And
Yes.
if so, do you need both doses? It's not proven one way or another. It's not
Yes,
speculated.
it
They
is.
just want everybody to get
No, no,
vaccinated.
no.
But
So the issue is, with this, you get more, you get better control with the antibodies. Whereas if you caught COVID, your body may not have fought it properly. Your body may have just got rid of it. It may have run its course naturally, and you didn't die. But it's still better to get the vaccine because the idea is the strains are going to be evolving. So we're going to need until
that's another
COVID
thing though,
gets
is like
kind of
how
wiped
is
out. We
because of how much this virus is mutating in it, and it's so many different strands. Like,
we're gonna
how
need
does this
one.
one vaccine adapt as well to all the mutations?
That's the
That's
thing.
what I'm worried
It's
about.
not. It's they haven't tested it on the new strains, from my understanding so far. But it's they are. You're going to need a COVID shot each year until we get to the point where we've COVID no longer is spreading. Because the issue is right now, if we're not getting the vaccines and we're not controlling it, that's how it. The vaccine, the virus can only mutate through infecting people because it steals
Right.
DNA as it goes from place to place. So the
Right.
idea is if we can control the spread so that we've gotten to the point where we're latent carrying it and it's dying off before it can really spread as much, we're going to start to beat it. The issue is it's because we're not beating it, it's giving it time to mutate within people. They spread it to somebody, that one then mutates. So the idea is it's going around to all these different climates around the world because we're a global. The world is all together now. It's not like the Black Plague where, you could watch it spread across Europe and like things
Yeah.
like the Silk Road would transport diseases. No, some dude could be in Timbuktu and he'll be in Shanghai tomorrow and then in San Francisco the next day. It's and then we're spreading this disease where it can go to different climates. It adapts to those climates, and then it just continues to spread and mutate.
hmm
So
Well,
we're
my
gonna
thing
need.
is like,
Go ahead.
do you think COVID might be a new flu? Do you think it'll just be around like
I don't
forever,
want to call it the new flu, but it's going to be like a flu for a while.
like the
For
cold and the
for
flu?
a
Like,
few
because
years.
like you figure we had the flu shot, but that still doesn't prevent people from getting the flu.
That's correct. The flu shot just helps to prevent the most, like the 19 most common strains of the flu that year,
Right.
and
And it still doesn't even protect you from all of them either. And then
that's
there's like
correct.
a lot of people who don't get the flu shot, and I'm one of them. I don't get the
And
flu shot
it's
because it makes me sick every single time I get
and,
it,
and
and
and that's
I'm
fair.
okay.
The flu isn't as dangerous. That's the thing. COVID's
But
way
it
more
kills a lot of
dangerous.
people still.
It does, but nowhere near the same amount. I don't get the flu shot because it isn't as detrimental. If I were to stand in a room with somebody with COVID, I will catch COVID. Now, how badly it affects me is a different story. But the flu, I'm not as likely to get it. The issue with the flu is it's the older population that catches it and dies. The issue with
Yeah.
COVID is it has a wider berth when it comes to where it's
hmm
going to just collapse and kill people.
Right. It's crazy. I've had the flu and COVID last year, both of them,
Yeah.
and I had the flu. The flu was a billion times worse
Oh yeah,
than COVID.
I agree. But the issue we're dealing with here is COVID spreads more and it can cause things you don't know about. You may have lung damage that you will have for the rest of your life. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're not seeing what happens now. We're already seeing how it deteriorates and destroys the body and you don't notice it, but in 10 years that part of the body that was supposed to last for 10 more years before it started deteriorated 10 years earlier. So you're looking
Right.
at it's going to cause lasting damage. And
Right.
that's what we're worried about. It's causing damage to the heart, for example. Heart tissue is being damaged, and your heart will still function. Your heart can go through a lot before it stops, you know.
Right.
But, adding extra damage early only shortens your lifespan. So you may not see
Right.
it. It's like smoking, you cough here and there, but, 20 years down the road, now you see what it did. It started to mutate your cells, so now you've got cancer, or it's now the tar in your lungs when it's harder for you to breathe to begin with. Your lungs already running at lower capacity than anyone else in your age group.
What do you think getting the vaccine could help? I don't know, recover. I mean, I don't know how it would
It's not
affect
going
or
to
slow
recover.
down those
Once your
potential
body is
damages.
damaged, your body is damaged. The idea is to prevent it from you getting it again and again,
Mhm.
because we've already proven that you can catch it twice.
Mhm.
That's already a straight up fact. So getting the vaccine right now, there is 0 reported deaths with the vaccine. It's has very minor setbacks, like, oh no, I'm got a stomach ache for a day or two, or muscle pain for a day or two. You know,
But I mean, but I've heard of like people who actually work in a medical place where like everybody got super sick after getting it, and they were like they highly don't want it. Like it made a lot of other healthcare professionals not want to get it either. And then this
it's
is coming from hospitals that are they're saying like
but
don't get
then
it.
then again, you're talking about people who are working in healthcare. These
Yeah,
people are
those
experiencing
people
more
should
than
get it
just
because of they're
yeah,
around it.
exactly. But their bodies are already fighting way more. They have so many other the hospitals are supposed to be one of the cleanest places, but they're also really dirty. You have
Right.
hundreds and thousands of different types of people coming in and out.
No, I definitely agree with Spooky, especially with the new
Yeah,
mutations of COVID. It spreads a lot faster, but like it's becoming less
yeah,
damaging. Like
and
the initial outbreak of COVID was it was spreading, but it
yeah,
was way more damaging. But now it's like everybody's getting it, but they're barely even getting any symptoms.
I
That's
that's
the issues.
I haven't heard that it's less dangerous. I've heard that it's just
Mhm.
spreads faster, but the vaccine usually is working on them from most of
No,
those
yeah,
strains.
from what I've read, that's what they said is like the vax or the new mutation depends on which one you're even talking about now because
Yeah,
there's so many of them. But the one I was reading up on, they said it spreads like wildfire, but it's you barely have any symptoms.
yeah,
You might have like a minor cough or something like that, or lose your taste and smell, like I did. I barely had
yeah.
any symptoms. Lost taste of
and
smell, a little
and
tired,
that's
and
and
that was
that's
it.
fine. That's the thing. It took us a year to get to this point, and if we didn't do what we did now, we would have been in a lot worse shape. Because the issue is, it's not like we can't deal with a taste of smell, but it's not like we can't deal with the disease. That's the thing. Like, we have ventilators, we have ways to treat people and get them through this. The issue is
Right.
when
Yeah, I
too
agree.
many
That's
people
the
have the
problem.
disease.
Appreciate you, Phil.
Yeah, when too many people have the disease, we can't we can't protect them. The issue is when hospitals are overfilled with patients,
Hmm.
people are naturally going to die. You know,
Right.
we've lost so many deaths to this. More people have died to this than I believe World War I on all
Hmm.
sides. So
Yeah.
it people keep making the justification. Oh, the flu kills a lot of people too. No, it doesn't. Not in comparison to this. This is way more
Right.
contagious, and it's killed way more people in 1 year. We're talking about it's it's still very dangerous. So we have to treat it seriously, even though it feels like it's second nature. If there is a way to prevent it, we should. That's like and think about this. There are people out there that can't get vaccinated. There are
Right.
people who
Yeah.
literally have no immune system.
Yeah,
And
because according to the CDC, the flu kills average annually 61,000 people a year.
that's so low. We've already passed 5 times 5 years worth of flu deaths in one not even a full year of COVID has killed 5 times the amount of people.
It's been a year.
Huh?
It's been a year for sure, but I know what you're
No.
talking about.
Not in America. We only really started to deal with it at the end of February, March. We still have a few
That we
more
know
days. Yeah,
that
that
we
we
know of.
know of. That we know of. That's correct. It could have been going
'Cause
around,
I mean, I've heard rumors that people may or may not have had it even back in November.
but and that's them. Maybe they had the flu. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's their symptoms are the same. So
Shit, I wonder if I had COVID twice because even when I had the flu and I tested it, that test came back negative, but I still had the flu.
yeah.
Well, who
So
knows? It might have been COVID. That might have been the bad COVID that I had, and then the second one was just
and that's the thing. We don't know, but the idea is if we can fight it, we need to, because as a society, it, it's killing too many people. Like if we can prevent it, why aren't we? Just
Right.
saying, people are dying off, whatever. I don't want to get the vaccine. It isn't always the right response. Yeah, you caught it, but the antibodies only last so long, and we're gonna have to get until our bodies get a natural immunity. Like we've killed off diseases before, and we don't have to worry about the diseases anymore. We don't even get vaccines for some of these diseases that we've eradicated from the earth. But if we don't deal with COVID and actually proactively try to stay ahead of it, it's just going to come back and get us again.
right.
That's where we stand.
No, yeah.
Because
I'm going to eventually get the vaccine. I just don't know when. There's multiple reasons why. One is timing. When is it available to me or have
Exactly.
a chance to get it?
Yeah,
But two is I'm personally waiting to see the effects from the shot because like you figure like it hasn't really been tested long enough. We don't know the long-term effects of any of this because obviously they just created it. They just gave it to people. It's not even been a year since it's been out. Who knows what
But-
can happen
and
from
that's the
from this,
thing.
too.
Not many vaccines have long-term like dangerous effects that come down the road.
Right?
Vaccines are relative. You're gonna see the symptoms early if you're gonna have a problem with a vaccine.
Mhm.
So it's like saying vaccines cause autism until there's
Right, no, I
studies.
agree. Yeah, I think we should all try and destroy this disease, but you're going to have those people who are those anti-vaxxers.
I
who
get
are,
you.
like, legit, like off the rails
Yeah,
anti-vax.
and you know what? They deserve to die of the disease if that's the case. But that's why measles and mumps and things like that are coming back. Why the bubonic plague somehow showed up again in the world last year or the year before. Sorry.
Yeah, I remember.
It's why are just there's a reason why we do this, and I would rather trust a guy who spent 10 years learning about diseases or 20 years working in the field with diseases. These are made by people who have way more education than us.
Spooky Crew is great.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That's good.
So it's I agree with Spooky Crew. The vaccine took 8 months in a lab with scientists who spent majority of their life learning or working in the fields usually. Whereas many of us,
it's been so hard this year trying to believe scientists because like they're like, oh, they're the smartest people. Oh, wait a minute, they're discredited now. Oh, wait a minute, now they're like, it's been really fucking with like credibility.
yeah, I get you, but that's the thing. You've got fringe cases of this. It's like the same thing with Fox News. People are gonna watch Fox News like crazy, but a lot of their anchors are discredited, not actual news. They're not allowed to be called news, but they're still gonna get Fox News. It's science evolves. Yeah, exactly. Spooky. Science evolves like that. Sometimes people are like, I'm sorry, you're wrong. That wasn't right. You may have been able to prove it once or twice, but now add in a few more variables and you're like, oh, turns out it's not always that way. And
Right.
exactly. And science is always evolving, but I understand the fear. There's always that fear. Like the fear for me is actually catching COVID and dying. Whereas I would rather get the vaccine and give myself a leg up against the imminent threat.
The only thing I'm more worried about is kind of what Spooky Crew said. I'm not worried about getting it again. I don't even care if I get it again. It's about affecting someone else that I could potentially kill, like my mom or your mom or
or
our
grandma.
grandparents. Yeah,
Exactly.
Like I was scared to death when I had it, and I was living with them.
Yeah, and
I didn't go downstairs a single day.
Yeah, we were all furious. We're like, Victor caught COVID because he was going out and hanging out with people at a party, and now he's living with grandma. Like,
I had it before I started going out.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part. I caught it when I went to the grocery store for us. or once I got gas or something. I don't know where I got it.
Yeah,
That's
but
the crazy
like,
part.
and that's the thing. We were like, oh no, he's with grandma.
Yeah.
That scared us all. It's these things where you're like, it's if we can help the people around us, awesome. And I don't think we're gonna have lasting effects from the vaccine.
Yeah,
It's
hopefully not.
highly unlikely. When's the last vaccine that, with factual evidence by real doctors, has an issue? What is the last
Mhm.
vaccine that we've been like, oh my god, this was a
But I
giant
feel like
mistake?
my to play devil's advocate on that is those vaccines are usually created years.
Hmm.
They've been worked on for years.
I
They have a
agree.
lot of lab work, way more time
Hmm.
involved into it. Versus this one was just, oh, we don't have a vaccine. Oh, now we have a vaccine, guys.
Well, no, they were
Everybody
working on
go
the
get it.
vaccine. That vaccine's been in development for all
Yeah,
like,
probably since day one. But
yeah, as
but
soon as
in
they
the
heard
same
about
sense,
it.
this is also a virus that was quote unquote created in the lab as well. So who knows what the virus can do?
Yeah.
This might not even be the worst of it yet.
Yeah, it may get worse from here, but having that extra benefit is going to help push you forward into a state where we're safer, having some sort of immunity,
Hmm.
because all the COVID comes from, they're all evolutions of the same
Was
disease.
wasn't there a country who did like the herd immunity where like they were just like no limitations on anything. I forget what it was, like some small country. They did it and they were just like, yeah, we basically got rid of it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to double check that again. But yeah, I was just like, I wonder how that would work in a bigger country.
New Zealand, they didn't do that. They did the complete opposite, and now they're in sitting there watching football matches all the time. Football.
Yeah,
They're just in stadiums, thousands of people around, and they're fine. It's
right.
the
But
idea is
do they
if.
have travel restrictions in place then? Because obviously, like,
Hmm.
if everybody in that country is clear, they don't want anybody coming into that country.
Yeah, and so it has its pluses and minuses, but the issue is we aren't really. All we need to do is just mitigate how much people go out. If we can cut it down more and more, it's only going to help us. And you know what?
Right.
Look at the positives of this whole pandemic. We're going to start pushing society socially into the future. Like, I don't think the Treasury's ever going to go back to 100% staff. Ever. I'm going to probably be able to work from home for a lot of my life now.
Yeah, most of your
Most of my
work you
life
just
is
do from
probably going to
home.
be home.
Yeah, unless you have to go work on the physical servers or
Go into the
whatever.
office just
Yeah.
because I need to be there as a body, like a skeleton crew at all times. So it has I get people are going stir crazy and our old life is hard to really,
Hmm.
we don't have our old life, but at the same time, you know,
Change is always
if
supposed to feel uncomfortable.
it's supposed to be uncomfortable, but at least there are pluses to come out of this whole social distancing and the staying at home thing.
Well, I mean, look at how the Earth has been able to heal.
Yeah, the earth is healing. That's the cool thing. And
The
for
ozone
us,
layer is basically completely healed up.
no, it's not completely healed up. There's still holes in
I
the
mean,
ozone,
it's
but
never going
like,
to be over 100%, but they said the hole, I guess, closed.
yeah. So
Like
it's
basically all but closed the whole way.
yeah, we're still getting the melting polar ice caps. The holes are still partially there.
It's going to
But
be impossible
but
at this
look,
point to
there
be a
is no.
first attack.
You could see Chicago's skyline, so that was pretty cool, I
Right.
guess. Like, you could see.
The air pollution is definitely cleared up, obviously, because there's less
Yeah,
people driving and flying and
and
all that kind of stuff.
but we still have many other things to
I
worry
just got.
about.
Oh, I hear you on that one, buddy. I put in like at least 30 pounds in COVID.
Yeah, like I got to work from home. I got to save money not having to drive to work, things like that. But people
Mhm.
who didn't get to work from home, Spooky Crew, sorry, it's a different story.
Right.
But
I,
no,
I
I
I
think
unfortunately got furloughed, but that pushed this out. Honestly, if it wasn't for the COVID thing, I probably wouldn't have started this podcast up.
yeah, there you go. For some people, like I started streaming again. I got to play games. I've been actually putting time into my freaking hobbies. Like I'm about to go work on some Tyranids after this, probably.
Yeah, for sure. But
So
any other news or thoughts before we
no,
close out the week's
I
episode?
think the week has been mostly fixated around the Republican Party and holding the people who have destabilized America accountable. And
Right.
and the big thing right now is everyone's watching the trial, so we're gonna see less and less around other things, you know. And it just
The
goes to show if you say stupid shit on online or you attack people and you just are doing it to to attack them, not even factually, you know, there are going to be
right,
repercussions. Lying isn't okay, you know?
right.
Like blatantly lying and ignoring the truth and attacking others isn't cool. And
Like from the I just watched Harry Potter. Uh, I forget which one I watched last night, but when Dolores had basically put Harry Potter in detention and had him write, and it was like one must not tell lies. That's what it just
mhm.
reminded me of.
Yeah, you know, luckily these people are just getting slapped with, "Hey, we're going to sue you if you keep doing this." It not, you know, actually like getting killed or hurt, you know.
Right.
But you know,
Exactly.
people are dying because of these lies that people are
Mhm.
perpetrating. So not the
Yeah, for
people
sure.
lying, the people who are on the receiving end of being against those lies. It's, you know, we're getting to the point where it's hurting other people.
Right. Right. Well, maybe next week when we can follow up and see what if there was any outcomes
Yeah,
for it.
no, this impeachment trial is going to go on for quite a while. I bet they're going to try and
Yeah,
drag it
I'm
out.
pretty sure we could follow it and keep talking about it.
But you know, watching Trump's attorneys yesterday or today, yeah, it's yesterday. They were pretty embarrassing. So I don't know if they have much of a case. So it's literally just going to be, can enough people vote against the people who aren't going to be able to change, have their minds changed.
Right. Exactly. Well, I think that's enough of the topics of this week, and I think it's ready to close out today's episode. But so we want to first off by thanking everybody in chat this week for joining in and engaging with us. It's awesome when y'all show up for sure. We also want to thank everyone who checks us out later on YouTube. Um, and again, just give a friendly reminder: we are changing the in-game in progress review of the games. So we just push it out another month until the first Thursday of March, which we're doing Cuphead. So be on the lookout for that. Um, but Roger, are you working on any projects? Working on yourself or anything?
I just finished some, as I was saying about the models, I just finished a lictor for Tyranids, which most of you probably won't know what that is, except for maybe the Spooky Crew. So I finished that. That was pretty cool, and I'm hoping to get through some more novels here and actually, you know, read something substantial instead of just manga all the time. Even though there's nothing wrong with reading comics and manga all the time.
Right. Yeah, you just want to mix it up, have
Yeah.
some nice variety and whatnot. But where can we find you at?
If you're looking for me, I'm on twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion. Oblivion starts with an A, not an O.
Hmm. You heard that, folks. Check him out. Be live streaming a lot of great games over there. But me personally, I'm gonna start off by asking everyone to go check out the new talk show on the Chill Zone YouTube channel, or even check me out live on my Twitch channel. We talk about unique topics, bring awareness to something. We advertise someone's business or skills, so it's pretty cool. It's a nice, really new platform. I started up here, and I got a lot of people lined up. I think I got at least a guest every week up until sometime in June and July. So definitely gonna be a lot of content from that. But again, gaming wise, I'm still trying to finish up Cyberpunk and Watch Dogs. I haven't really been playing it honestly. I just been taking the time off from
I feel you,
trying to
dude.
beat.
I want to play Cyberpunk, but like at the same time, Valheim is eating my life next to Stellaris. Picked up Stellaris again, and I can't put it down.
Yeah, I was watching your stream that one time when you were playing it. It seemed interesting,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it's a pretty cool game.
Warzone took over my time. I've been playing a lot of that since like I played it a decent amount when it first came out, and then stopped playing it. Didn't have anybody to play with. Now I have a new
Everyone's on it.
yeah, everyone's on it now, and I actually have a good group of friends who are actually really good and actually take it serious. So, been trying to play that, but I need to get back onto that scheduling thing. Like, all right, this day's Call of Duty, this day's this game, this day's this game. Like, try and stick to that, but sometimes
Yeah,
obviously it'll
and it's
change.
not like you're forcing yourself to do it. It's just telling yourself, "Hey, I like this. If I want to
Right,
get through it, I gotta take time to do it." You know,
right.
and that's
Yeah,
the same
I
thing with
got one to do
life.
it. I can't wait to do it. It's just so I just have that thing where like Watch Dogs, I want to beat it. I feel like I'm almost done with the game, but I want to beat it all in one more session. But I don't want to play Watch Dogs for like an hour.
Yeah,
I want to play for like 4 hours, so I
yeah.
might be able to do it this weekend. We'll see. It's Valentine's Day weekend, probably not, but we'll see. But
So,
other than that, yeah, just look out for those game reviews. Hopefully in the next month, I would say. But you can catch me at Twitter at Mr. Never Chillin _ Xbox at X Never Space Chillin'. If you want to party up, chat with me, play some games, come check me out. If you have any questions, you want to come on the show, contact me at Facebook, Vic Brubacher. And then my Twitch channel is twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin'. That's where the talk show is live every Friday at 7 p.m. Or if I'm ever streaming like Warzone and stuff like that. So come check me out. But we'll be continuing to release weekly episodes. Make sure to continue to check us out when we record these live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. at twitch.tv/lunatic_oblivion with an A. And make sure you like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, along with sharing our content as much as possible so we can grow this community. We'd love to connect with people as much as possible, especially when they come on to the show. It's great to get everyone's input, and just it makes the show a lot better. But definitely want to thank everybody again, and until next time, peace.
Peace.